It's day who knows what, and the kids are getting a bit stir crazy.
If we're all working together, we'll get through it unscathed.
But after all this is over, what's going to change?
Wherever those kids are next year when they go back to school, teachers will do a great job of getting them to where they need to be.
More in Common is checking in.
This is what learning sounds like.
With students learning at home.
Giving them time to imagine. It's amazing how healthy that actually is for their brain.
And teachers going above and beyond.
She opened up the door and there I was standing there with a board.
I thought I'd take it to them, see the kids, make sure they got a meal, make sure the parents stayed in.
It's all ahead as we check in. Hi, I'm Michael Koenigs. It's been a long time in quarantine, as you can tell from my fluffy mane here. But this episode is all being devoted to the teachers and students who are getting through this challenging time in creative ways. We're starting with Zane Powell, a teacher in the UK who's walking miles every day to deliver meals to his students. Zane, we're checking in with you because you're, as a teacher, and you've gone around helping out these students in your school who can't afford some of these meals, and you're walking miles to deliver food to their doors.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Obviously lockdown now, kids can't get into school. They're entitled to free school meals, so I thought I'd take it to them rather than them come to school, you know, and keep the parents in the house and check on the kids while I'm doing it.
It's probably created a very different vibe between administrator or teacher and student to somebody who's now kind of able to see them where they live and where they come from.
It's our school all over there. I mean, our school, Western, our motto is called the school that cares. So it's something that we would do anyway. I'm walking around and doing pretty much all of the load, but if I was poorly, all the members of our staff would just step in.
And you've got some sturdy shoulders there. I can even see on this interview, you got a big backpack. How'd you get the muscles for this?
Yeah, I do a lot of training, triathlons, I've done a few, and I used to be a Queen's Guard as well. So I used to guard the Queen at the palaces, so I've done quite a bit of time in the army.
Yeah, it shows. So you got a big heart in, you got some big muscles.
Yeah, maybe, yes. So I look after myself. I'm getting on a bit now, but I still like to look after myself.
And what do you say to people who have seen your story from around the world and are inspired by just you going the extra mile?
I feel quite overwhelmed, a bit embarrassed by it all, quite humbled, because I set out just to do my job, just to see the kids, make sure they got a meal, make sure the parents stayed in. So I found it a bit crazy, really, how mad it's gone.
And I love what you're doing out there, Zane, and appreciate the chance to just check in with you really quick here as we think about ways we can help each other.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's really important that, you know, we all help each other. I'm a very small cog in quite a massive machine, so if we're all working together, you know, we'll get through it unscathed.
And here are some of my favorite stories from around the web. I think you're going to enjoy them as well. Here are some Australian teachers getting their exercise with enough social distancing and some great tunes. Staying strong even without the PE class. And check out this parade put together by teachers in Orlando, Florida for their students to raise their spirits. Fire department, police coming through, blaring their horns. These are just a few of the stories that caught my eye as I was scrolling, and I hope you like them as well. I don't know what day it is. All I know is I need a haircut, and kids are getting a bit stir-crazy across the country. So this Fresno family reached out to their son's first grade teacher for a little guidance on how to keep the kids busy and their parents sane.
Drive-by field trip, but what are we gonna go see?
I don't know.
Look at that.
That's the real size of them, too.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, clap one.
It's day who knows what, and the kids are getting a bit stir crazy. Mom needs a break, and I'm no help. So we reached out to the ultimate resource, our middle son's first grade teacher. Kids are home, parents are home, everyone's home. Instead of just giving them an iPad to play a video game or, you know, watch a cartoon, as a teacher, what are some resources that you know of that maybe it is an iPad, but like an educational type thing, so that way that they're still learning even though they may be off doing their own thing?
There are a lot of I know online field trips. Yes, you're putting them in front of the TV. It's an educational thing, but it's at least something that will hopefully hold their attention. I think the struggle is, if you give them a project, are they going to have to come ask for your help in 5 minutes? Are they going to get frustrated? So choosing how much time you need. So if you're needing like half an hour or an hour of time where you're uninterrupted, that would be the time I would say, give yourself grace and let them sit and watch something. And yeah, it can be educational. They have a lot of fun PE type of videos that the kids could do where they're actually being active. You can look up so many things on Pinterest or YouTube. Type in elementary game or elementary craft, and there's a lot of things on there. We have so many resources.
We live in a world of screens, and in a time like this, they can be a godsend. A few minutes of quiet bliss. And our kids love it. But Brooke also says that it's okay for your kids to be, the B word.
Parents also need to remember it's okay for your kids to be bored. Kids aren't bored anymore, and they don't know what to do when they don't have a game or an iPad or a TV show and all this input. And it's actually really good for their brains to not have that input. Even just saying, you're going to have some quiet time in your room. I'm going to close the door. I have a meeting. Here's some books. Look at them, read. Here's some papers. Draw about what you're thinking about. Giving them time to imagine, time to just not be inputting. It's amazing how healthy that actually is for their brains.
So screen time? No screen time? Extra screen time? You do you. But if there's anything parents need right now, is to give yourself some slack.
Having grace is a big part of all of this. Everybody just needs to know that nothing's going to be perfect right now, and that's okay.
Thanks to a little technology, this speech and debate team is practicing virtually and competing at high levels.
This is what learning sounds like. Pop, 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 pop.
This will be fun.
We have to kind of face the fact that we're starting to live in a post-coronavirus world.
You receiving the education is one of the best things that could have possibly happened.
Do not let anything turn you from your purpose.
This is so fun.
It's been a great opportunity for us to be able to innovate and also enable students to keep competing and to keep speaking and not have to kind of shut down during this time. Obviously, you can't really do basketball practice as easily this way, or baseball practice or something like that. Luckily, competitive speech and debate is one of the few activities that still translates in this medium.
You should be out there in the real world and helping people.
We developed a way for students to be able to safely and securely be able to still connect with other students from other academies.
This is exactly what I need.
My skill of putting my work into detail has greatly heightened.
You have to bring up more of your personality in order to be more vivid.
Because now we're able to branch out and explore other areas of speech and debate that have previously never been explored before.
Right now we're mid-coronavirus, but after all this is over, what's going to change? And one of the things that's definitely going to change is more and more companies are going to be having people work from home. And the ability to teleconference like we're doing now, that's a skill. And we have to start teaching students how to do that aspect to find new ways to communicate.
Graduation ceremonies and commencement addresses have been canceled around the world due to coronavirus. But here at Localish, we think that the class of 2020 deserves an inspirational send-off as they head into the next chapter of their lives. That's why we're launching #CoronaCommencement, because even when we're physically distant, we can still celebrate these graduates. How does it work? Step 1, record a video of you giving a little word of wisdom, your little commencement address. Only has to be 30 seconds to a minute. Step 2, upload the video to one of your social accounts using the #CoronaCommencement. Step 3, challenge your friends to do the same and tag them in your post. The class of 2020 isn't going to get the graduation they were expecting, but we can all do our best to make this big moment for them unforgettable. When I was a student, I spent a lot of time looking out the window. But in this case, it would have helped, because this teacher is coming right up to the glass to provide some lessons. Let's check in.
This particular day, I was teaching a graphing of functions lesson with the kids. And over the years, that's been one that's been tough when we've been together anyways. After my lesson, I had been emailing back and forth with a student that had reached out saying that they didn't understand.
He kind of realized that I wasn't getting it, and I was kind of ready to give up. So he rang the doorbell, and he was out there on my porch with his whiteboard he was using to teach us. Then we just kind of did our one-on-one lesson.
She opened up the door, and there I was standing there with a board, and I said, what's your problem? Let's get it figured out. And about 3 days later, she emailed me back and said, hey, Mr. Waba, I think I've got this graphing stuff down. Send me a test over it. So her confidence zoomed, and she got, where she was confident what she was doing, and then we tested out of it, and now we're working on some geometry stuff.
It was incredibly helpful that he was nearby, could get that done, and get her back on track, because she was struggling a little bit, had some tears that we were dealing with. And so for him to come over, get her on track, get her feeling good about things again was incredibly nice.
This social and distance learning is very tough, and it's got to be impossible for a parent to work a 10-hour shift at work and then come home and then sit there and try to wrangle these kids down to do some homework. Most importantly is keep that family unit together, and wherever those kids are next year when they go back to school, teachers will do a great job of getting them caught up from where they are to where they need to be.
Just reach out to your teachers, and I know they'll help you, and don't take school for granted anymore, and I really appreciate it, and thanks.
Thanks so much for watching today's episode, and remember to check in with your own family and friends in the days ahead.